in places. And we all want different things. I want to grow my career.
I want to make a difference.
I want my research to have an impact. But we all have one thing in common.
We want to be somewhere we can fulfill our ambition. Not just a graduate business school, but a global community full of people who want to go further,
Push harder, achieve more.
do things differently,
With the faculty producing cutting edge research that's making a difference.
changing how we think.
A community that's making its mark on Ireland and the world.
At Ireland's highly ranked and triple accredited business school, offering internationally recognised MBA and business masters programmes. Distinctively located in Dublin, one of the friendliest, most exciting cities in the world, and home to the world's leading companies. A local campus with a global network of alumni, where students connect with industry leaders and each other.
Where faculty address the biggest problems of today, creating real solutions for the real world. We'll all end up with different careers.
In different places,
Making an impact in business and society.
we're all different.
But we'll always have one thing in common.
UCD Michael Smurfit Graduate Business School, creating a better future.
Great. Welcome, everybody, to this webinar where you already saw the introduction from UCD University College in Dublin. And yeah, maybe it's you next year that can end up studying there. This session is about that and how to accelerate your leadership career with a business master's degree. In the next 45 minutes or so, you're going to hear about all of that and from students who are currently studying as one of these programs. Now, before we go over to them, I'd like to briefly explain to you how this works. My name is Luc Milling, and I'm the moderator of today. And we have a couple of interactive options for you. First of all, you can say where you're from in the chat. So just mention where you're joining in from. And yeah, it would be great to hear and see some of the different countries that is logging in. Also, we of course, like to hear your questions. So you can write your questions at any time through the panel called questions at the right bottom. We will deal with the questions at the end when we have the Q&A. And also for the people that are watching the recording, by the way, you can also write your questions, even though you're watching the recording. However, of course, we cannot answer them live, but we will send them through to the staff of UCD. What else? We also, I will open up some couple of polls just to get to know you a little bit better about your background and yeah, some of your interests. And last but not least, we have an emoticon reaction button at the bottom. So there you have a way to react. Exactly, some of those. We like to get those just to have some more interactivity with you. And if you like something, so without further ado, let's get started. I will hand over to one of the staff members of UCD, Jola. She will introduce herself and then the rest of the team. Go ahead, Jola.
Thank you so much, Luke. And good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, depending where you are. I can see in the chat there's at least 15 countries represented. So we're delighted to see you. A very warm welcome to UCD. My name is Yola Mar, and in my role, I look after international students. So you're very welcome. Thank you.
Hi, welcome everyone. My name is Julian Andriesen. I'm a student at UCD Smurfit and I'm studying digital innovation right now from Germany.
everyone, my name's Sarah and I'm from the United States and I'm studying at Smurfit right now, getting a master's in project management.
Hello everyone, my name is Khu Nguyen from Vietnam. You can call me Kyle. I'm currently studying master program Financial Data Science.
Thank you, Kyle. Hi, my name is Elena Hearn and I head up the admissions and the recruitment here at the UCD College of Business. And it's great to see you all online this afternoon. So without further ado, I'll start the presentation around, I guess, why a UCD Masters, why UCD Smurfit Business Masters. There, as I said, is my role and my email. So this will be the agenda. So I'll discuss an overview of the master's programs, and then Yola, who's our international student liaison manager, will go through moving to Dublin and the support that's there for you. And then I'll do a panel discussion, because there's nothing better than speaking to the people who are actually here on the campus. So we've Julian, Kyle, and Sarah. And we'll have a discussion around how they're finding it and what they feel they are where you hopefully could be next year. So I suppose the big thing is Ireland, Dublin. Ireland, a small country, we're sort of 5 million people. We're the only English-speaking country in Europe. We're very well positioned at the edge of Europe, but very close to North America. So we have that kind of unique position of being English-speaking, but there between Europe and North America, as I said. Traditionally, we would always have had a very close connection with North America, because Irish people emigrated to North America. So there's always been that long-standing tradition, and we have a huge network with North America, which has paid dividend to us in that a lot of the large multinationals that are American companies are based here in Dublin. And so we have garnered the nickname or the label as the Silicon Valley of Europe. Now, also, that's not the only, the IT sector is not the only sector in Ireland. There is a very strong pharma sector. There is also a very strong aviation aircraft leasing sector. 6 of the 7 global aircraft leasing companies are actually based in Dublin. And the other area is there's a very vibrant and indigenous food industry. So a lot of different industries that equally are excellent employers. So the other great thing about Ireland is we're a very young country. We only became a republic in 1922, and 50% of our population is under 34. So it's quite an open economy and quite a young and vibrant place. It is also a very sort of safe place. I suppose it's such a small country that is quite a safe place. So as you see there, Dublin ranks as the top 40 cities in the world for students to attend. So Dublin has that uniqueness is that it's very much a kind of a student town, but it's still big enough, being 1 million people, it's still big enough. And the wonderful thing is if you're an international student, you can get a 2-year stay back visa. So once you get employment, complete your master's, you can of course stay within Dublin for 2 years post graduating, and quite a lot of students actually stay. As I said, the country is very vibrant and employment is good. These are the sort of countries that are based here. So the IDA would be the Industrial Association of Ireland, Irish Development Association, and they would work closely with bringing companies into Ireland, and that's what gives us that sort of vibrancy. So there's some of the countries that we sort of list there. So I guess the kind of why Dublin, why Ireland, and then I guess why UCD Smurfit. We have a huge tradition of business. We offered the first MBA Masters in Europe in 1964. So we've over 50 years of a tradition in business. So we are Ireland's leading business school. We're globally ranked, and we have our triple crown accreditation for over 20 years. Now, there are other schools within Ireland that have recently got a triple crown accreditation, and that's fantastic. But theirs is quite recent. Ours is 20 years old. So that gives us a sort of an innovation in business. It's sort of an area for us that is hugely important. And we have, as I mentioned, a dedicated business school here based in our campus in UCD Smurfit in Blackrock. And there's the sort of front door of the campus. It's an absolutely magnificent campus and a beautiful building which dates back to the 19th century. Also, as part of that accreditation, we're consistently globally ranked, and we're also a member of a number of very prestigious networks, like, for example, SEMS. So we're one of, last year actually, we were the #1 business school in SEMS. This year, I think we've dropped to maybe about the 5th, but that indicates, I suppose, the prestigiousness of our school. We're also a member of the GNAM network, which is the Global Network for Advanced Management. And this is a network that you need to be invited into. And part of that network would be other universities like Yale, Stanford, Bocconi in Italy, also IE in Spain. So, and we are part of that network, and there is no other Irish business school part of that network. So I think that gives you an idea as to us being a leading school. We also have a hugely global reputation, and that's very, very important to us. Many of our programs are highly ranked. I suppose if you were to ask me what is unique about UCD, I suppose that is really what makes us very unique, in that we are a global university. So everything about us is focused on that global experience. So it's very important for us, and Yola will go into that, about how we support international students, because for us, that's what we see ourselves as outlooking and being very global. So you can see our rankings there, and the different programs that are ranked. As I said, everything about us is global and focused on global excellence. We would have in excess of 100,000 business alumni globally in 123 different countries. And that's just the College of Business, whereas the university in total would have in excess of 300,000 alumni. So you are talking about a nice, a sizable network to become part of. In the campus here, we have about 1,500 students doing postgrad. And of those 1,500 students, about 65% of them would be international students. And the balance then would be domestic students. So we have a nice balance of international and domestic. Diversity is hugely important to us. And the females surpass the males by about a 0.5%. So it's sort of 50.5 to like 49.5, something like that. So the females come on top just slightly on our diversity, which is wonderful for us. We have a fantastic career service based here on campus. We have a dedicated career service, and I'll explain to you why that is so important. So we have two career managers who look after the master's programs, and then we have a dedicated MBA career manager also. We are a research-led university, so it's extremely important to us that all our faculty are committed to research, and our faculty are judged hugely on the amount of publications they produce, and also on the research, which again feeds back hugely into the quality of the institution and the quality of the teaching that you get from our faculty. Sorry, just on the next slide. So again, I suppose one of the things people often ask me is, why would I do a master's over, we'll say, taking a graduate program? So I suppose this is a slide that we pulled together on UCD. So I suppose the benefit of doing a master's really is that you become an expert in an area, in a particular area. So you develop more expertise. And a lot of research is showing now that employers prefer candidates who have a master's program. And also as part of that, it improves your employability, but also it improves the salary that you can achieve post-graduation. It also develops and opens your network. So, where you did your undergrad and then you do your master's somewhere else, you open and develop a network in an area that you intend to work in. So, that's hugely beneficial. The other areas, of course, there's a huge area around personal development. And I'm not sure if you can see on this, but the World Economic Forum lists leadership and social influence as one of the top 10 skills that employers are going to be looking for in the future. So I'll talk about the personal development program as well, because that's hugely important to us. I suppose the other key thing for me to highlight would be 60% of our master's programs you are eligible for if you do not have an undergrad, a business undergrad, and that's really important. So we like, again, that diversity. So if you come from an engineering background or a science background or a quant background or a liberal arts background, we are absolutely open for you to 60% 50% of our students currently do, and 60% of our master's programs you are eligible to apply for. And if there's any ones that you're not really sure, please send us an email and we will happily speak to you. So these are our specialized masters. You know, as I said, we have the areas around finance, around marketing. So we have a number of finance programs, and then you can specialize and be further develop your expertise. We'll say whether it's in renewable and environmental finance, which is the whole area around sustainability and impact investing, or in quant finance, or equally, as I mentioned, aviation finance. So Dublin is the HQ for 6 out of the 7 aircraft leasing companies are based in Dublin. We also, as I mentioned, have a number of management programs. So we have our international management, our SEMS program, and we equally have strategic management and project management. So there's management, marketing, finance, and then of course there's innovation and data innovation and digital innovation. So you can see there we have those we've 23 different programs. As I mentioned in the earlier slide, what's really important for us is that you come out ready for employment. So what we would like to for you to finish with your master's is not just that you have become an expert in a particular area, but also that your own personal development. So we have developed the Global Leadership Program and the Intercultural Development Program. So employers would talk to us about students when they come for interviews, being able to demonstrate how they have that sort of leadership. And that leadership program means it's a module that's free, so you just volunteer to go on it. And you work across programs. So for example, somebody in a master's in management would be working with somebody in a master's in data analytics. They could both be from different regions of the world. And then they could be working on a project. One of them, leads this particular project, and tomorrow I lead another project. And it's a project that you can then speak to around global leadership and how you demonstrated that leadership. Also, intercultural development is hugely important for us. A number of our employers would talk to us about students being able to demonstrate their cultural competencies. So, are you able to work with different cultures? Do you understand within business that there are different cultures? And so equally, that's part of the global leadership program. These programs are very unique to us, and it's something, as I said, because we have been so long in this whole area of business masters, we're always innovating and working with employers as to what they're looking for in our future graduates, and indeed what they're looking for in their future leaders for business. As I said, there's a dedicated career service, and there's an excellent UCD careers portal. The career service really encourages you to start working with them immediately once you join, so kind of like August, September time. And they'll work with you on your CV if you're interested in a particular company and how you might target that company, what alumni they know. They may work with you on your LinkedIn account. They will tell you about the different fairs, the different corporates that are coming on campus. And they will give you an opportunity to do mock interviews. And they'll also explain to you how different CVs are addressed in different industries. So that's a fantastic service. As I said, employability is extremely important for us. So I guess in total then, why would you do a UCD Smurfit Masters? It's there really, it's about not just about the quality of the teaching you get and our rankings, but also around the whole student experience, and that you come with a total experience and you develop yourself so that it gives you the best chance of employability at the end of your master's programs. Just to note, I suppose, that all our master's programs are one-year programs, which is hugely beneficial, from a cost perspective, because you are complete within 12 months, which is fantastic. Quite a number of the global master's programs are actually 2 years, but all our masters are actually 1 year. Okay, so with that, I will hand over to my colleague, Yola.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Hello, everyone. I'm delighted to be here for a quick conversation. I can see loads of you are logging in from all different places all over the world. I can see at least 20 different countries represented. which is phenomenal, I have to say. So you're all very welcome. Very briefly, I'll just talk to you about experiences of international students here on campus and how they are supported. So what we have here in UCD is UCD Global office, which supports all international students. We have around 9,000 international students in UCD in general, in globally. We additionally have 5 global centers all over the world. So depending what part of the world you're coming from, there could possibly be a global center from UCD there. We have my role, which in my position, I support international students here on campus. So what I do, I'm a go-to person for anybody who is inquiring about relocating to Dublin and to Ireland. I look after students who are incoming and who are planning their journey and planning the first days here in Ireland, and also for students after they arrive. So I help them to settle, and I advise them, and I help them to manage their early days and early steps while in Ireland. Additionally, just to finish off on the support, we have student advisor. That's somebody who supports students in slightly wider area of between that ranges from mental support to areas or situations where they struggle on personal level. It doesn't happen a lot, but it still does, and there is support for that, which is quite significant. So just to also say, I organize and I help students to organize events here on campus. So we have different celebrations of cultures, students coming from different cultures like Diwali, Lunar New Year, Thanksgiving, which is coming up this week. So that's really adds to the kind of the vibrancy of the campus, I guess. I suppose there's one topic that I would like to flag to you at this very early stage, and the topic is accommodation. And the reason why I'm flagging it to you is that in Dublin currently, supply of accommodation is not exceeding demand. The demand is much higher than supply, basically. So the message from me to you guys when you're planning to come to Ireland is to come early. To come early to find out a place to live. Don't come a week before your classes start. That's not early enough. Also, just to note that we do have on-campus accommodation, there's a large hall of residences on the Blackrock campus, and there's several halls of residence on the main campus, which is 4 kilometers away from our graduate business campus here that's where the Smurfit School is located. Okay, and the last topic I would like to very briefly cover is a 2-year stay back visa, which is also called third level graduate program. That's the official name, and it's sometimes known also as stamp 1G. So if you ever do a research, these are the names that this program is called. It's basically working rights permission, which is allowing graduates of our programs to stay in Ireland and avail of employment up to 24 months. Majority of our students, those coming from outside the EU, avail of the program, which is absolutely fantastic. Having secured the employment and having availed of the 24 months permission, what happens next is students transfer to a work permit, which needs to always be supported by an employer. So what we might do is, if you have any questions about either relocating to Ireland or about the stay back visa, or indeed about accommodation, please put your questions in the chat and we can address them later in the Q&A. Okay, so thank you so much. I'm going to hand over back to Elaine. Thank you.
Thanks, Yola. That's great. I saw a couple of questions there. One of the questions just was around English language requirement. So the English language requirements are actually on the website. So we do, it's Duolingo, IELTS, TOEFL, fairly standard English language requirements. So if you want to see those requirements, they're actually on the website. It's probably best to have a look at those, because today, we don't have the time to go into all of the requirements. Just with regard to another question around, what was the second question? Around partnerships. Yeah, we do have a huge scope of partnerships. So depending on where you're looking at the different partnerships, we do have a lot of different partnerships. So again, maybe have a look at the website. So now we're going to maybe have a chat with the current master's students. So Julian, Kyle and Sarah, good afternoon and welcome. We can probably get rid of that slide maybe, and we can move ourselves in a little bit. So Julian, if you want to introduce yourself first, maybe just to tell us a little bit about what you're studying, where you're from, and maybe also what your undergrad was, because you're doing digital innovation, and I saw one of the questions was around the roles in digital innovation. So I guess what's your undergrad and what are you interested in doing post-graduation?
Sure, yeah. I try to give some insights. So as I said before, I'm Julian Andries and I'm from Germany, and I'm doing the digital innovation course right now at Smurfit. Maybe I just start off with why I chose that program, why I chose digital innovation. Well, I did my undergrad in business, basically, back in Germany, and I did work in IT a little bit as well during my undergrad and after. So that was basically exactly what I wanted to combine, business and IT. And when I had a look at digital innovation, basically that's what the course gives you. That's what the course provides. It combines business and IT. And that's why I chose the program. So
great. Okay. And what are you interested in doing, Julian, post? Are you interested in staying in Dublin, or are you interested in going back to Germany?
Well, to be honest, I haven't really decided yet, because I mean,
you're only in the door.
For me, it's just really easy and convenient to go back to Germany and stay here in Ireland as well, because it's just so close. It's just basically an hour for me, so I could easily go back to Germany as well. But Ireland is great, especially Dublin. Obviously, it's just a great city. There's huge companies, especially in tech. If you're interested in that, if you study digital innovation, for example, you could have a great career in tech afterwards. So Dublin is basically the go-to, if you want to start in tech.
Great. Okay, super. So Kyle, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about the program that you're doing, maybe?
Hi, Ellen. Hi, thanks for having me here in this section. As I introduced that, my name is Khương Nguyễn. You can call me Kyle. Currently, I'm studying financial data science. And talking about the reason why I choose this program, before returning school for this master program, I had many years working in insurance company as an actuary. For someone who not know, actuary is like financial engineer for insurance company. We design the insurance product based on the statistics, probabilities, and financial modeling. And for my long-term career goal, I motivated to apply data science and machine learning into the actuarial practice. So this master program is, perfectly match my career goal. And I choose this master program because the program is designed with the fintech incubator project. It allowed me to, solve the real world business problem and develop my industrial knowledge. So it's really good for my future career.
And how are you finding Dublin?
Actually, to be honest, initially, I'm from Vietnam, a tropical country, so I take time to get used with the weather, unpredictable one. But this island is very beautiful country, and so far I'm super enjoy my study here.
The weather is always a challenge, and most particularly in November.
Yes, but
I've lived here all my life, Kyle, and I still find the weather a challenge, I have to be honest. That's why we're such warm people, because we have to make up for the weather. The only great thing they say about the weather now is you can't get fed up because it changes in a day. You can have summer, winter, and spring all in one day. So,
thanks.
So thanks. We'll come back to you again. Sarah, would you like to tell us a little bit about your experience and what masters you were choosing, and I guess why you chose UCD Smurfit?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said earlier, I'm from the United States, so I'd be an international student. But basically, I was able to live in Europe last year, and I wanted to stay another year because I thought it was just like a lovely place with so many great connections throughout so many different countries. So I did my undergraduate degree in engineering, and I did industrial engineering specifically. And one of my favorite subjects was project management, kind of a dip into business a little bit. So I wanted to broaden my horizons a bit by potentially getting a business master's. And so as I was doing my research throughout English-speaking countries in Europe, UCD Smurfit really stuck out, and really was the only program that I could find that had that specific project management look. And yeah, also there's so much support, and I really felt that through the application process, there's so many things available for students, for international students, especially for the transition over, but just in general, there's a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, so great. I mean, you could have chosen so many places within the US. Mind you, I know a lot of the US master's programs are 2 years, so it is a bit, it's a bit more challenging. So, and of course, for you, the language, it was obviously an easy choice. Yeah. That language, and the project management course is really good. Joe is fantastic, and Joe Halton is fantastic. He's great. You're actually a wonderful example of somebody with this undergrad then making that expertise, as are the two other candidates. And I suppose just Sarah, is there anything that you found that you didn't expect, that really you went, gosh, oh yeah, this is really good, and I didn't expect it was that was what was going to be?
Right. Yeah. In Smurfit, actually, something that I was able to get involved in was the GLP program with Linda, which that was an incredible decision to do that because it's opened so many doors. I really want to get into renewable energy, but I wasn't really sure where to get my foot in. So I signed up for the mentor program, and I was able to be matched with someone who works heavily in renewable energy. So that has been a great pleasure because he is so knowledgeable and helpful. Looking forward next year. So
that's great, actually. So the GLP, that's the Global Leadership Program I was talking about earlier on. So yeah. And I suppose, Kyle, I'd ask you the same question. Is there anything besides the weather that you sort of went, oh gosh, I didn't sort of expect that, and it was really positive?
Oh, same as Sarah. I'm really interested in the GLP Global Leadership Program. It provides many social activities and help me to sharpen my leadership capacities. And yeah, luckily I'm also matched with the mentor who who really supportive and give me many advice for my career. So I'm so grateful for the program.
Yeah, it is great. I mean, it really is. I met a student last year who had started, and she was doing the strategic management. She was very good at sports. She was going for a career, and I said to her, "Oh, join the Global Leadership Program," and she did. She went for a job with, there was 350 students. She got it because she had done a particular project with getting young girls involved in sports in the Global Leadership Program. So it was great because what's great is it's outside your core modules, outside the master's program, and then, as I said, you're working cross programs, so that's really good. So Julian, back to you. What about you? Was there anything that you didn't expect that you went, gosh, I didn't see that coming? That was really good.
I wouldn't really say there is anything I didn't expect. Maybe I'll just talk about what I expected first and what it's like here. So what I expected first, I mean, obviously I expected like an intense learning environment because after all, it's a master's degree, right? People from all over the world, lots of different nationalities and backgrounds, which is just great. You have so many people with different backgrounds around you. Just amazing, right? And then also the classes, maybe I should mention, especially in my program in digital innovation, classes are kind of small, actually. I think we have like 40 people in our course, which is just great. If I think back to my undergrad degree, my bachelor's, I think we had like, I mean, I wouldn't say hundreds of people in the class, but quite a lot, right?
That's a good point, actually.
Right, just the experience with those small classes is just really amazing. You have personal experiences with your classmates and also with your professors as well. So this is just great.
And also what's great about that is that you learn from each other, you know, because everybody comes with a slightly different undergrad experience maybe, and you're learning from your cohorts, which is obviously very different in master's programs as opposed to your undergrad. So yeah, that's a very good point, that the classes, and that you get to know people. So I'm not sure, am I on time, or are we moving along to the next, do we have questions? So yes, so yeah, great. Okay, we're moving along. So I suppose just the question that obviously always comes up is the scholarships. So we have a large range of scholarships programs, or scholarships on offer. We have some dedicated scholarships for particular programs, and we have dedicated scholarships for particular regions. So we have merit-based scholarships, and then we have regional-based scholarships, and then we also have particular scholarships. So for example, we on the Masters in Renewable and Environmental Finance, we have scholarships there that are company-sponsored scholarships that are just for that Masters program. So it was the same with supply chain, we've sort of dedicated scholarships. So what I'd say to you on the scholarships program is certainly ask us about the scholarships, but equally I would say, you know, have a look on the website and apply for the scholarships that you're interested in. And the sports scholarships, there's quite a number of sports scholarships. You would need to be at quite an elite level to play the sports, and you would be then playing for the university. So rugby, soccer would be the global ones, athletics, and swimming. So I think there are 8 to 10 sports scholarships. And then obviously, there are MSc merit-based scholarships, so very broad and certainly there. So on the next one, so I think that if you have any queries, we do have, I'm on the website as my team, and there's a regional-based manager, recruitment manager for most of the global areas. So feel free to email any of us, or you can certainly contact Richard, but the Smurfit admissions, or indeed my email is on the website. So if any particular questions, please feel free to address those. I see somebody has one in. Hello, I wanted to know, once I paid my deposit, accepted my offer, what are our next steps? Well, that's really once you've paid your deposit and accepted, just make sure your transcripts, etc., are uploaded, and then you wait for once you've accepted your offer. You'll hear from us around different dedicated webinars we have for including you. So that's it. So some of the questions, I deal with some of the questions here. The applications for the International Management Masters in SEMS is not closed, it is open. SEMS is a little bit unique in that you are required to attend an interview. So once you've made your application to that particular program, you will hear and be called for an interview, and then you'll hear about whether you've been accepted. So just wanted to say that. So it's not closed. None of our programs are closed. And none of them really would be closed until kind of really going on to March, and even then some of them we try to keep it open mind so we get some cancellation. Okay.
Yeah, maybe I can help out with the Q&A as well, Elaine. So thanks everyone already for your presentations. Great to see that, and all the people that joined. So as we highlight a couple of questions as they have come in, I grouped them a bit together. So some people were asking about the ability to apply without a GMAT or IELTS. Can you say something about that?
Yeah, you don't need a GMAT. You don't need a GMAT for the master's programs. You only need a GMAT for our MBA.
Okay.
You do need IELTS, Duolingo, or TOEFL. You do need an English language test to be met on our requirements. You do need that if you are an international student and English is not your main language.
Great, thank you. Hope that clarifies that. Also, there was a question specifically from Sritama asking about the difference between a Master in Finance and a Master in Accountancy and Financial Management. Is that something you can say something about here?
Yeah, very good question. So I just wanted to highlight the the Masters in Accounting and Management is really an accounting Masters. The Masters in Finance is broader. So you would need some accounting modules completed for the accounting Masters, Masters in Accounting and Financial Management. It is very much in accounting. And as part of it, you do get exemptions for the ACCA accountancy exams, the cost management, sorry, the CMA accounting. So it is accounting as opposed to the Masters in Finance is a bit broader. And it's yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I hope that answered that for Sritama and similar people that are wanting to study those programs. Barika is asking, I already have an offer letter for the Master in Digital Marketing, but missed the acceptance date, which apparently was last week. I need an extension for paying the fees. What should I do to proceed?
Just if they send an email through, we'll deal with that. If they want to send an email through to me or to one of the admissions team, we'll help them.
Okay. Hope that helped you. Next question from Anissa about the application fee. Can you tell me how much it is for non-EU?
Gosh, I thought it was about the same as, I thought the application fee was €50 for everybody, but that's my understanding. I'm surprised. I think it's €50 for everybody, but maybe I got that wrong. I need to check that unless it was changed. Sounds.
Okay. No problem. I also will share the link to the application site, the direct application to UCD. So I'll send it through to the chat. Actually, I can pass the link also on the screen. Yeah, exactly, to the website. So you can have more, see more about, there it is, the link also on the screen. So you can click on that, and at your own pace, after the session, you can have a look how to apply. And it gives more information about closing dates and requirements as well. So I hope that's useful to you. All right, let's move on. Let's see if we had some more questions. I think those were being answered. So Maya was asking if the application for the SEMS International Master already closed because she applied but still had to wait for the results of the TOEFL test. How to proceed?
Which she would be waiting. She needs all of her. She needs everything uploaded before she would receive an interview. So she needs, if she's waiting, it's not closed. The SEMS is not closed, so there's no problem. But she just needs to get the TOEFL up or the IELTS, whatever her English test exam results are up, and then she will hear from Richard Murphy, who's the SEMS recruitment manager, and she will get an interview for SEMS.
Okay. On that topic, Soon was asking, he applied, and it's been over a month. When normally do we hear back regarding the application status?
Which one did he apply for? Did he mention?
Yes, he did. There was a Master in Accounting and Financial Management.
Okay. Okay. Well, if he wants to email me, I'll have a look and see. I don't know how I would be. Not sure on the regions. Some of the regions do a kind of, what would you say, for example, in South Asia and China, we do a block of recruitment. So all the applications would come in and then we do them all together. And then we send out all the offers together.
Okay. Don't know if we should supply the email that we have on the screen. That's general inquiries. Otherwise, Elaine, let us know in the chat if there's another email, the address they can write. But here's smurfit.admissions@ucd.ie as given. Okay. Garvita is asking about the criteria for admission in a Master in Marketing. As I applied but got rejected, I'd like to know what the requirements are to apply.
Yeah, very difficult for me to comment on a
Yeah.
particular without
It's
seeing.
very special.
Very,
Mhm.
I don't know, like I don't know why you would have been rejected. I'd have to see.
Maybe just to make sure the requirements slide. So this is the general requirements, right? And also there the admission link. So maybe check the list.
So
indeed,
a GMAT score exec, that's not required unless, as I said, you're doing an MBA.
Okay. Good. All right. Next question from Akash. You mentioned housing, and also somebody in the chat already indicated it is quite challenging. So for that matter, I have a question from Akash asking about the on-campus accommodation. And he was mentioning particularly the BlackRock campus. Can we get some idea of the available options with prices as well? What should they do about that?
Yes, I'm happy to take that question. So there is a large hall of residence housing approximately 120 students. It's called Proby House. So if you want to Google UCD Proby House, you'll be able to see the facilities. The arrangement is that there is apartment style housing with approximately, to the best of my knowledge, 5 bedrooms with a social area / kitchen. Each bedroom would have their own bathroom, so be an ensuite setup. And in terms of pricing, again, I can't remember at the top of my head, and I don't know whether pricing for next year is listed on the website yet, but you can look at the current pricing, which could be a good guidance. So if you Google UCD Residences Finance, so there's one website for all UCD on-campus fees for a particular year, so it'll be 23, 24, and you'll have each hall of residences listed in a table. So you'll be looking for Proby House. That's how you can find out what the fees are for current year. They might possibly have it for next year. I'm not sure. And to the best of my knowledge, the application for on-campus accommodation is on an ongoing basis. Opening it's already either opened or opening soon. Okay, I hope I answered the question.
I hope as well, and I did quickly get the link on the screen as well, and that should be the link for the finance one that was just mentioned. So hopefully there you should be able to get some more information about housing and the rates.
Luke, just one other thing there that I didn't actually mention is that we have launched this year, and it did come up as a question there. We've launched a Master's in Management online. So it's a 2-year master's, and you can do it remotely. As I mentioned earlier, we're a very innovative institution, business school, and have been constantly innovating over the last 25 years. So we have launched this Master's in Management online, the details of which are on our website. Now, it is 2 years, over 2 years, the Master's is. And of course, if you do a Master's in Management online remotely, you are not eligible for the 2-year stay back visa because you're not in country. So just kind of to explain that, but it is a very good option for students. I just wanted to answer that question.
Thank you very much. Question from Nissan is asking, is it a requirement to have a job experience, as I guess work experience? If we don't have it, is it a problem applying to the Masters?
No, not at all. The only program that you need a 3 years work experience for is the MBA. Yep. A minimum of 3 years for the full-time MBA. The rest of them, there is no problem at all.
All right, great. Thank you. And Maila is asking, are there internship placement opportunities?
No, Mali, because internship placements come where you have a 2-year master's program, but not with a 1-year master's. Like, as I said, most of the schools who offer internship are doing a 2-year master's. So we don't, our focus is very much as a school, we do the internships at the undergraduate level. And then for us, it's about getting you a career role, a full-time employment role.
Okay. Thank you. We're getting thumbs up, so I guess that's answering that question. Good to see. Sakshi is asking, by when do the scholarship results usually come out?
The scholarship results don't really come out until the end of April, middle of May, depending on the scholarships. So they vary, but that's when they generally come out. Really. That's a broad answer because there's so many that it kind of varies depending on whether they're regional scholarships or whether they're university scholarships. So, but it's kind of middle of May.
Okay. Thank you. Question from Reina, asking, does one of the students already have a job opportunity if they stay? Any of the students, any idea about if they stay, about the job opportunity, or do they already have?
Julian, Kyle, Sarah, I don't know if any of you have probably not started on it yet. It is only November.
There's been some career fairs at UCD main campus, but I know coming March, there's a big career fair for UCD Smurfit specifically. So I think some of us might be holding out for that just to give us a bit more time on decisions for next year.
Yeah, I would agree. Same thing. As I said earlier before as well, I'm not too sure yet if I was going to stay in Ireland to work. I am still having basically a job offer of that company I worked before in Germany. So I might just, if I don't find anything else, go back to that company in Germany. But people have been saying that if you do your degree here in Ireland, chances are really high and really great that you will find something good in Ireland as well.
Great.
Yes, I can't agree more with Julian.
All right, great. Thanks, all of you. That's good to hear. I browsed some of the questions. There were still some questions about scholarships. I actually have a link for those people as well. So there is, and there was indicated earlier on, information on the website about scholarships. So here's the link. So if you click on that, it will bring you to the UCD Scholarships and Awards page. And there you can find more information about that. So that should get you in the right direction. Let's see if there are some specific questions, but many have been answered already as well by the staff written. So that's great. So we want to, of course, make sure we still have a couple of minutes left. We can still answer some questions. So yeah, Maria was asking, what is the closing date for the Master in International Business?
There are no closing dates, so they're all still open. So there's no closing dates at all. So the international business now is different to international management. So no, there's no closing dates.
Okay. Suyit is asking, please, what is the difference between the Master in Strategic Management and the Master in Management Consultancy?
Yeah. The management consultancy is very much targeted against that industry. So working with the big four, the consultancy. So the strategic management would be broader, really. So you could go into, you're not necessarily going into consultancy per se. Whereas the management consultancy, you are looking to get into maybe an Accenture or an EY, whereas the strategic management is a broader master's.
Okay, great. Thank you. That answered that question. So there are some specific questions. I think those are probably best to take offline because there are some really personal ones as well. So these questions will be sent through to the staff. So just to make sure they are not lost. So if you don't get your question answered, don't worry. They do have all the questions and might be able to come back to you probably by email. Also, here you see the email still on the screen. So there you can also write any question that is not answered. Let me see still some general more for the questions that might be able to apply for more people. Let's see. maybe Sakshi is talking about the IT industry is booming in Dublin. It has been mentioned before. So there's a lot of IT companies has been presented. And how about the take on digital marketing? What are the job prospects like? Is there anything else you can say about that?
I suppose the digital marketing, I suppose the advantage is that you're across many industries. So, for example, depending on what industry or area you are interested in, you can go into, like, everybody is looking, like, we have a full digital marketing department here. So there are an awful lot of opportunities for you across so many different industries, not necessarily just dedicated to the IT sector. And as I said, there's a very buoyant indigenous food industry. So depending on what you're interested, I would say if you are looking to do digital marketing, I think it should be in an area of an industry sector that you like. So if it's an area, then you're marketing something that you really get a product in. So there are roles in digital marketing.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. Yes, there's several questions about specific courses. Maybe again, it would be useful to take those after the session, because people are asking about the specific master programs, and obviously there's a large list of that. So we
just one thing to say, Luke, you can apply for more than one master's. So
okay.
Yeah, I mean, you can apply for, you could apply for 3 masters. I guess, it's you wouldn't want to be applying for a master's in marketing and maybe a master's in financial accounting. You probably, but you can apply for a number of different masters. And for example, we have 4 different marketing courses. So you can apply for the 4 different marketing courses. So you can apply for and there are a number of different management programs. So you don't have to make the decision today. You can apply for 3 and get an offer on your top priority, but then keep your options open on the others.
Maybe I can just mention as well that I'm always happy to answer questions afterwards as well. So if there's anyone with specific questions about digital innovation, for example, just hit me up on LinkedIn, for example, and I'll try and answer as much as I can.
Wonderful, Julian. You're great. That's super.
Thank you, indeed. And maybe good to mention for that matter, and also maybe for Julian or any of the students, we do have a student community. I chatted it to you earlier. I chatted put it again in the chat. There's a link to the student community, also a special community made for this webinar. So there you can connect with each other. I saw some people were asking about housing and maybe, teaming up. And any of these specific questions, and maybe you find people with the same questions and challenges, maybe from the same country, and again, finding a house together, for example. So join the community on that you see the link there. You can join right after this webinar, and maybe even for some of the students here, you can join and answer some of the questions, maybe for a little bit if people stay on. That can maybe help all of you between yourselves with this. So having said that, we're getting to the end of the webinar. I saw one more question. Anaga, maybe interesting to know if students can get support during their studies. For example, if they have they're average and not so good in math, how does it work when they need some specific support?
Okay, I suppose what I would say is this is why we would review applications. It's dependent on what program you're going into. So if it is a very quant-based program and your undergrad to date is not demonstrating that you would have, I suppose, an affinity for maths or quant, then we would be strongly advising you against a program with a quant based, because you're going, the thing about a master's program is you're going to be in, it's another level up. So obviously everybody who's in there is going to be good at quant. So we would be, slow to commit you or to make you an offer in a quant-based program if we didn't think. But we have a lot of programs that are not quant-based, and there wouldn't be necessarily a need for you to have a proficiency in maths. But we would be slow to make you an offer in one that did require it, because no matter how much support you get, classes move quickly, and as I'm sure the students, Kyle, I'm sure you would say, within financial and data science, everybody is good at maths. So, it's about learning from everybody else, but there isn't a waiting around. I don't know if you want to give an answer to that question.
Yes, I want to say that my program, the financial data science, really focus on quant and programming. So that when you consider this program, so please make sure that you have the good math or quant skill, and yes, and I think in the school, in the campus, the facility and the professor are very supportive. So they can help you to get through the module. Yeah, that I can say.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good. And we're getting to the last question of this session. Question from Barca about exams. So how do most exams go? Are they written, or is there any other form of exams? What can you say about that?
I'd say it's how long is a piece of string. It depends. It depends on the modules. It depends on, maybe the students might be better to Julian. You might be better to answer. It depends on what modules you're taking. It depends on the academics. Julian, Sarah, I don't know if you want to talk about exams.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, Sarah, you go ahead.
Okay, sweet. Actually, in my module in project management, because it is so heavily based on projects, we don't have exams at all. So I know that's not the case for all masters, but that's what I can speak to for project management.
So we will have one exam this trimester. I think we'll have it on the 21st of December, so quite late this trimester, and it's going to be online. But our professor basically approached us and asked us what do we prefer. So we basically did a little poll in our class, and most of us said, all right, let's do it online. So that's what we're doing now. Next trimester, I think we're going to have another exam, and then, like you, Sarah, 2 projects.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone for your answers and everyone for their questions. There was quite a turn up of an audience we saw from a lot of different countries, people joining in. Great to see that. Again, don't worry if your question was not answered yet. We know there are some specific personal questions, so they will be sent through to the staff of UCD. They can come back to you. Give it some time. I know they have a lot of work on their plate as well. But they should be able to come back to you. And always, otherwise, check the resources that were shared. So in the chat, you find several links as well. Also for the people that watch the recording, you can look back and find those links. You can also still write questions, by the way, for those people in the recording. And don't forget to join the student community. So there's a link for that as well. And with that, we'd like to thank everyone. We're getting thanks already through the chat from a lot of people. I'd like to submit my thanks to, first of all, the audience, again, everybody that joined, but also the great presenters we had lined up, all of you here. Thank you, Elaine, Jola, and of course, the students, Julian, Sarah, and Kyle. Thanks for your time and your detailed explanations. And maybe last word over to UCD. Elaine, would you like to wrap up the session?
Yeah, I suppose we're really looking forward to seeing you on campus. We are here to help. So, as I said, you can apply for more than one particular master's. Pop us if there is anything that you want to ask us. Or the admissions team is actually on the Smurfit website. And we look forward to you joining us here in UCD Smurfit. And thanks so much to the 3 students and to Yola.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us. Thank Yola.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thanks, Luke.